Welcome to the Liberating Beauty Podcast. I'm Rebecca, your host, and together we'll explore the spirit of beauty, how beauty invites new possibilities, enlivens us to inhabit our innate creativity, and connects us more deeply with ourselves and with each other. We'll have conversations and share reflections that invite you into a frequency of gentleness, truth, and mystery. I'm so glad you're here. If you find the Liberating Beauty Podcast meaningful, please consider supporting our work. To donate, follow the link in the show notes to the Together in Beauty website, home to this podcast, along with other offerings to accompany you on your journey of spiritual becoming. Please subscribe, rate, and share this podcast wherever you listen. And as always, thank you for your support and for being here with us. Welcome back, everyone, to the Liberating Beauty Podcast. I'm really glad to have you here with me this week. For those of you who have been tuning in over the last several weeks, I've been hinting at the fact that there's been this big move underway with my family and been talking about some of the anticipation and how it feels and how it's felt viscerally and emotionally and spiritually. And I'm very happy to report that we have now landed literally on the other side of an ocean. We are spending the year in northern Spain. Spain's a place that holds a very dear place in my heart. It's a place where I feel like when I'm here, I remember who I am underneath programming, underneath conditioning. And I do wonder if all of us have some kind of soul agreement with a particular place. And if we know it when we find it, that's been my experience. I came for the first time when I just turned around 21. I was here with a study abroad program, as many people do. And I remember for the first time feeling like it was okay to slow down. I saw people really enjoying themselves, doing simple things, spending a lot of time outside and walking. I was really struck, even as a very young adult, seeing kids outside with their families late into the evening. And I felt like there was really something here for me, even though I don't know that I would have been able to describe what it is at the time or what it was at the time. So I'd come back every couple of years, and I believe this is my 10th journey here, and now we're here with my husband and kids, and actually our dogs are with us. So it's pretty incredible to be here now at a time where psychically and spiritually I feel that so many things are leaving. I can speak for myself, my own system, my own being, kind of shedding. I think there's some version of that happening at many levels throughout the world and in nature, a certain shedding. And sometimes that shedding can be extremely brutal. It manifests in some of the violence we see playing out politically and socially, and certainly with natural disaster that we see. And I like to believe, I hope, that this is in service of something that is truer and more beautiful and more on the alignment with who we actually are as people, as beings, and as creatures of nature. And so here I am back in the place that first gave me that insight that something else was possible, or other than the outfit of ego and personality and story that I'd been walking around with for the first 20 years of my life. It's absolutely incredible. And there was something I was kind of anticipating would happen when I got here. And I've had this feeling a number of times over the last few years, a feeling of whatever is not mine cannot stick. And it's not about surrender or letting go. There's not that kind of agency involved. It's just whatever is not meant to be, it will drift away. And there's a particular image that I think about a lot with this. It's if you've seen these salad bowl spinners or lettuce spinners or cleaners, I don't know what they would be called exactly. If you've washed lettuce and then, it holds a lot of water, and in order to, regain some of that crispiness so it's not really soggy, you can put it in one of these bowls and you pull the string on the bowl and all the water shoots outward away from the center. And that's what it has felt like kind of psychically these last couple of years, like being put in one of these spinners and having this string being pulled, and whatever is not mine just cannot stay. It's like centrifugal force moving away from the center of what is true. So in a sense, we could say that leaving, that whatever is shedding, whatever is being unleashed, there's a sense of it being an energetic process, an energetic principle underway, a certain physics of truth, that whatever is not meant to be at the center simply cannot hold. It cannot stay there. And really, that's what this episode is all about, is getting aware of when are we being shown, whether it's something physically or spiritually is happening, and we can tell that the only option is to, well, it's not even, like I say, it's not even about surrender, but to stand still long enough so that whatever that residue is that needs to fall can do so that we can walk as truthfully and in some sense as lightly as we can moving forward. I've only been in Spain this time for a little over a week and a half, so I don't know how much to account for how I feel just being on the basis of, jet lag. And I usually, it takes me a while when I land in a new country to feel capable of a lot of things around time. Feel very challenging to know what time it is, to know how to keep track of things that I want to do, which is usually pretty easy for me to do when I've kind of in my own time zone or gotten accustomed to a time zone, but things just don't stick. But that feeling of things not sticking is feeling very true kind of across the board. It's like finding, I heard a woman the other day, she was talking about perimenopause and saying like, she doesn't have any more shits to give or something like that. And I think, oh yeah, that's kind of what it feels like, because I don't have it in me to try to pull back anything that wants to release. And I think the thing is, this is always true, that what's ours sticks without having to grasp at it, and what is not ours falls away. And I can absolutely see how much of my life I spent trying to grasp at things that weren't mine because I thought I needed them, whether for validation or just some kind of unsatisfied ego, impulse or desire, but it wasn't mine, and ultimately proved unsatisfying. So to be in right relationship with this very natural flow of allowing, standing still, releasing the efforting of trying to hold on to things, to have that just be happening. I can imagine that in some circumstances and some, times in our lives that could feel very scary. Like, oh my gosh, where's the center and what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis? I don't have control of anything. But the flip side of that is just freedom of not needing to worry, because it's living in alignment in a sense with the soul, kind of soul contract. But I believe that very strongly, that we have a soul contract with ourselves when we come down here and we are kind of walking among the living, that there is something that our soul desires to learn. And when we walk kind of in union with that purpose, we cannot help but to encounter the people, the experiences, and the resources necessary to live into that truth as fully as we possibly can, because when we do that, that is of the highest service, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. You know how it feels when you encounter people who are walking in union with their purpose. There is none of that grasping and pushing and pulling. It's if something doesn't work out, it's just "Okay, cool. We're just moving forward. There's nothing to worry about because it was never meant to be. And so that's the feeling I'm encountering of being here. I've got some scaffolding around, my time, and the kids will be going to school, but to feel like I don't have to plan for so much of my life, that what is meant for me is mine. And this is true for all people. Again, like I'm sharing it through my own, first person experience, but this is true for all of us, is so freeing. And I have to believe opens us up to, or enables us to access wells of creativity within us, because we're not expending all of this energy trying to contain, things that are not meant for us, or contracting because we're scared of what is ours. So I'm wondering, for you, as you listen, if you can think of times in your life when there was a sense of inevitability. I feel like I often hear that word used in a kind of a more negative connotation, like, oh, it was inevitable that this was going to go wrong. It was inevitable that we were going to break up. It was inevitable. But when I think of inevitability, I think about it differently. Just the natural kind of order of things, the natural way of things that is meant for us when we just keep saying yes to what is ours. So I wonder if there are times in your life when there was a sense of inevitability, if you were aware of that feeling and what it felt like, just noticing it. And what was your response? Was there fear of, oh, I don't know if I want to do that thing? Did you do it? Did you not do it? I'm curious, the times that you didn't, what happened? The times that you did, what happened? So I don't know, just kind of do a little inventory with yourself if you can. It'd be, I think, an interesting thing to meditate on. When have been these moments or thresholds when there is a sense that you were in the salad bowl spinner, as it were, and life was showing you that there was something that was either meant for you right now or not? And how did that feel? What happened when you said yes to that instinct or intuition, and what happened when you kind of pushed past it? And I can tell you, in my experiences, in the past, my intuition was very strong about things not to do, kind of things not to get involved with. And so some of the examples that are coming to mind are jobs where I was like, this is just not going to be a good match for me. And I can think of the times when I bypassed it, and I had at one job signed a contract, and then I thought I was having a heart attack, which was insane. I think I was 30, ended up in the ER. I was not having a heart attack. I don't know what that was. It was not a panic attack, but my body was just like, are you crazy? That didn't go well. Or, had another job where I was like, this is just not going to end well. And it was just the most stressful job I'd ever had. So things like that. Basically it would show up as, if you do this, you're going to be bypassing your own limits. And now this feeling shows up differently. It shows up like just as a quiet reminder that whatever is mine will show itself. So don't plan ahead too far, because it's just unnecessary. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. And whatever is yours is going to be more interesting anyway. So just take some shorter steps, because you don't want to get ahead of your soul, essentially, as how it feels. It's very quiet. It's a quiet instinct. It's not pushy. It's just like, slow down enough to notice what's yours, and definitely don't cling on to things thinking that there's some kind of loss if it doesn't work out, because it wasn't meant. This wasn't meant for me. So I'll be curious to hear from you. What are the instances where you've heard that feeling of like, oh, this is for you, this is not for you, and what happened when you followed your own advice or when you didn't? Really looking forward to sharing with you over these next several months, and I'm sure far beyond that, but being here in this place where it feels like my soul knows its name. That sounds incredibly corny, but that is what it feels like. And to see what it feels like when I have a dosage of being in that kind of place long enough, what is revealed in time. And I can say for again, only having been here for a short time, I feel so much relief. I feel just a huge amount of relief to know the hardest thing is already over. Just having the courage to say yes. This is kind of like we talked about in other episodes, stepping off the hamster wheel, stepping outside of the matrix to say, this may not look or like it makes sense, at least within the context where I was coming from, but it's inevitable. What else would I be doing right now? It's such a relief. And a clarity as the water releases from the lettuce as it's spun dry. It's just a lightness and a joy and an unwillingness to fight for something that isn't mine. It's a delight. So I wish to share that with you as we all walk a path of beauty and of truth. Until next time, take care. Thank you for listening to the Liberating Beauty Podcast. To learn more about the podcast, my work, and how I can support you on your journey of spiritual becoming, head over to the Together in Beauty website or email me at rebecca@togetherinbeauty.com. It's an honor to accompany you on the journey. A huge thank you to our multi-talented producer and co-creative director, Mapumba Cilombo. To learn more about Mapumba's work as a producer, sound engineer, and musician, check out the show notes for a link to his website at mapumbamusic.com. And as always, many thanks to you, our listeners. None of this would be possible without the energy, encouragement, and vitality that you reflect back to us each week. Until next time, may you walk in beauty.